A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome once again to HJN Season 3. So if you're looking for some new material for me to talk about, well, I'd say we might as well do just that. Here we go with number 2263, which will be about dosages. And so, what I can pretty much put together for this episode is that a number of things can basically be taken for granted. Certain substances, drugs, pills, and whatnot, supplements, can always have a certain negative effect on the body. As we know, dosages are very imperative because otherwise you would not exactly know what the limitation is based on your own bodily standards or by health recommendations by your own physician or otherwise. So basically, to put it simply, certain things will kill you. Yeah, that's just simple as it is. So, preemptively speaking, people have been talking about certain things like a so-called opioid epidemic, whereas, we went through a pandemic some time ago. And, there's way bigger things that have happened as a result of it than just to worry about some simple opioid crisis. There were a lot of things that I've recalled throughout history that have occurred over the past several decades. I've learned all about certain crises like the fuel crisis of 1975, or there of course was the crisis in relation to Waco. And then of course there were millions of other things. But not to get off track or sidetracked. Basically, I could just put it this way. I might have a lot of things in my diet, supplements of any kind, but we know that it's especially important to just follow the freaking instructions that are written on the bottle for any possible reason. The canisters that hold these certain capsules, it's just really important that we just follow those instructions. And if a physician happens to tell you otherwise about it, then please, try to do exactly what's supposed to do. Otherwise, consequences could potentially be fatal. I remember a few times where some of my friends had actually had certain drugs of their own, some of which were relating to things like anxiety or depression. But man, one time, one of them had overdosed. And it was fatal. He died in his sleep. I'll never see him again. And to know that this was almost 10 years ago, whereas today it seems like nobody is listening to a single thing that has ever been said, to know that there's even more people doing this kind of mistake. What happened here? How did everybody lose their way? 2023 is supposed to be a time in the future, and not some thing where history is constantly repeating on edge, like nothing was ever done 10 years ago. I might as well end it here. So that's just, man, I was trying so hard not to just shed tears because, that was just so horrible. And the fact that this was years ago, how have people not learned their lessons from this? Yeah, let's just call it off here. I'll see you again on HGN, hopefully with new topics and other stuff that'll be worth talking about.